Hey guys, SeanB, and today is going to be a recap video for my RTA season and also to show you guys everything that I rune up, I use, and the way I play in RTA. So hopefully it's gonna be helpful to you guys in some way in your future RTA journey. So we're definitely not going for G2 here because I know if I play, I'm just gonna drop to C3 pretty much because it's quite tough out here. People are really good nowadays, and the amount of LD Nat 5 and meta unit that everybody in C3 have, quite insane. I lose half the time, so don't worry if you lose a game. It's not the end of the world because I lose a lot too, like all the time pretty much. So first, before I pretend to be a good player and know what I'm talking about, let's give the biggest shout out to the first reason why I'm in Guardian this season is because I have meta unit. Like, let's not hide that, yeah? It's because I have meta unit and I have the proper counter unit to the meta picker as well. So I do pretty okay as long as I know what I'm doing when I ban pick and I rune my unit correctly. Secondly, I've been pretty lucky as well. You know, every match that I land my strip on Lulu is a good match. Every match that I doesn't land my strip on Lulu, even a C1 player can beat me very easily. With that out of the way, let's go to the rune showcase of my box. There are two ways that I usually draft, the first one being the first turn team. I have my first stripper, the more watery you on surf, speed, crit damage, and attack. I would love to get a bit more accuracy. He's almost at max accuracy with artifact. This is like minimum speed for C3 and G1. Any lower, then you're getting outspeed like all the time. This is my Joe gun, actually quite slow compared to most C3 G1 play out there. I've done many RTA on many different accounts, and I would say this is like really slow. So Swift broken, can't even be on wheel, you know? You see how bad it is? Speed, defense, HP, and he does the job when I go turn 1 because there's a healthy amount of turn 2 player in the meta with Molong, Lulu, and maybe LD Nat 5 as their core pick. So this kind of speed is good enough to outspeed most people who are trying to go turn 2. The first follow-up that I draft will be Ganymede for the pushback and the cooldown reset. Also, Gany doesn't care about Vert Revenge or Juno Revenge, so I have mine on speed, defense, HP, and he's there to push back and also to support all the 2 CC unit that I draft pretty much every single game. The best follow-up that I'm using this season will be my Fire Bison or Carnal. He's on speed, HP, Violent Will, and you're trying to get damage from artifact as well as some accuracy, and he's just insane. One of the biggest things that give him the edge over the other CC unit is the slow debuff. So with speed buff from Joe Gun and slow debuff from the Fire Bison, I control enemy really well, and if I can stun any of them, it's amazing. And the skill 2 allow you to kill things like Juno really effectively, meanwhile Okeanos cannot really do anything. In the case that he get reset by enemy Changpeng or Ganymede, my skill 1 can still provoke them, so he's a very strong unit overall. If you're forced to go turn 2, his HP leader provide you a much better survivability for your turn 2 endeavor, which sucked most of the time, but the HP really helped. The next one will be Poseidon, which I've been using more in the later part of the season. I didn't really appreciate him that much in the past, but now he is my best pick against every single Molong user out there. His skill 3 doesn't glance, which means Molly cannot do anything to him, and he can deal with wind unit very well. And skill 2 has Teuton Silence, that is the anti-Vile proc mechanic. He's on Despair Whale, speed, quick damage, and attack. I think this is a blue rune. I think this is this one is from the event. This is so blue. I think this is kind of blue too. So a lot of blue rune. This one is probably blue rune too. My god, there's so many shit rune on SeanB account. Trying to get some accuracy and damage and artifact, and you're good to go. He's a very strong unit for control. If there's no signs of any fire unit like Vert, Juno, Antares, or Rika, then I'll pick Changpeng for the pushback and the strip. You might see, what the hell is that crit rate SeanB? But my fastest Vile slot 4 is a crit damage rune, so hey, I'm not ruining it for the crit damage, alright? I'm ruining it for the speed. I try to get some damage and some accuracy in the artifact, and he does a great job for the control. But usually I will try to draft Poseidon and Carnal for the slow debuff, because if you draft 2 stripper and Gany Changpeng and something that will probably ban like Rika, then you'll be left with 2 stripper, no stun, no slow debuff, and you are dead to like Antares or Vert or Juno or Diana. So a better build for Changpeng nowadays in higher rank is actually on Despair Rune. So if you're in a position where Changpeng is your main CC unit, you can probably stun the enemy too. And the multi-hit allow you to stun fire a little bit better because of multi-hit. Despair will apply on the first non-glancing hit. Because he attacked 3 times, there's a chance that one of them will not be a glancing hit, and that will apply the Despair stun, especially on fire unit. So that's my turn 1 draft that I do pretty much 80% of the time. The rest of the unit are for counter pick. So if they are trying to go turn 1, they steal one of these units, this is one of the best units to pick in the meta because the passive allow you to gain attack bar when they strip you. So you want to put it on Swift Will to speed tune to whatever follow-up you have. Or if you're one of those people who have a 280 Despair, hey gang, I hate you, but that is insane because this unit doesn't bring a lot of utility. If he stripped into Despair, that would be absolutely insane. So even though he's kind of slow, he just moved in front of Gani and Karno and Changpeng, and that is good enough. Doesn't need to be like amazingly fast for Hey Gang. Sierra is when I need another speed lead, which happened quite a fair bit as well. She's on speed, HP, and attack. Quite low defense though, I need to improve that, but overall this unit does so much damage with additional damage artifact, and the bomb damage is pretty good as well. I think mine does around 16,000 without attack buff, and she's just pretty amazing when she lands her freaking bomb, that is. Samath is there in the turn 1 draft as well. I usually pick this unit when I see like a cleaver, like a Bastet user. They will usually take Samath, so if you can take it away from them, that'll be good for you. And he also does damage to the cleaver themselves, and a great follow-up CC unit. I run attack with damage attack, so when he come back, he can actually kill somebody, and that's pretty cool. And trying to get, attack proportionate to lost HP, crit damage, and their skill 3, all that good stuff, and you will have a okay Samath to go. Sometimes I pick Triton for the secondary strip. He's not there to outspeed anybody. He's just there to strip sometimes when I need like a second stripper. Rarely though, but he's run up just in case I need one. Now for the turn 2, I have my Lulu on Vio, speed, defense, and resistance. This is such an important rune. Without this, I can never get my Lulu to max resist. And the fair amount of time that you try to control this dumb unit, it doesn't happen. And this is one of the best immunity healing support unit in the game for RTA right now, because one violent proc and something can go wrong really fast for the control team. Annabelle is picked when I see too many fire, which doesn't happen often, but when it happens, it's great. She's a great bruiser, healer, damage dealer, a mix of a lot of different things. So I like to pick her into like battle against the ragdoll player that doesn't pick win unit. Then she can shine and just do damage. She can defense, break, healing. She's a jack of all trades. Molong is there for the ragdoll player as well, and also for the kinky. Just for stationary, tanky bruiser comp, this will allow you to do a lot of damage. My Molong's on vampire because I often don't bring in like healers for my team, because I often run like first turn meta slave comp, which means my Molong need to heal himself and not die too quickly. So mine's on vampire to heal back a little bit. If you want to, you try to get damage dealt on wind or dark, the unit that you do the most damage on. If you are picking Molong mostly to kill Diana, you want damage dealt on wind. Kind of contrast to the popular belief that you need to do more damage to fire as a water unit. But you put artifact depends on what you use the unit for. So if you're doing mostly damage to kinky, then you want damage dealt on light, for example. So Molong is often drafted to kill tanky unit that is unkillable, because CC will not kill them, like ragdoll, kinky, that kind of stuff. Blution is the last pick against team without immunity, but usually I go with Rika because my Rika is max resist and tankier, so it doesn't die that often. And Blue Joker get reset by Gani Changpeng fairly often, so he's not as easy to use, but for most people this will be your bread and butter to last pick when enemy doesn't have immunity, and you can build him on Swift, Fatal, whatever. I just have a violent set lying around without anybody really using it, so I put it on him for, chance to violent proc back to the bomb and the reviving magic. It happened pretty often on stream actually, that this guy just violent proc every single turn, and he has bomb again, which is quite cool to see. Thessarion is picked very rarely, but there'll be time where they pick Ciara, Juno, Molly, Diana, and Antares. This will be a force ban pretty much immediately, so I have to run him up just in case I need a force ban, and if they don't ban it, then he start doing some real work on their passive. Antares is rarely picked because there's a lot of mix of water unit in the meta with this guy, and then Joker can seal you away, and Lulu to heal, Molong, Samantha, very popular unit. It's not as easy to use him compared to before, but there'll be some times where they draft a team without stun. So they bring strippers like, let's say, Warrior Jogun and then Gani Changpeng. They don't have stun. If there's no stun for Antares, they're in trouble. So I have Antares ready for those situations, even though often, more than not, he disappoints and doesn't do anything. So attack with damage and HP, no speed, because usually he takes turn by proccing, and a lot of time he just doesn't proc. But when you fight it, oh god, every single damn turn is crazy. Juno, I rarely use Juno, maybe because the playstyle is more turn 1 and Juno is more turn 2, but hey, last big force ban against Rika is very amazing. Speed rate, HP, just your average Juno, nothing crazy. Some additional damage in the artifact, and she'll be good to go. Usually if she get picked, usually she get banned. My one and only Vampire Lyca. Attack with damage attack. There are quite a number of people who run Ragdoll Lyca religiously. So if I do 10,000 damage, I'll heal 12,000. It's kinda cool, and I really liked it. He's just immortal, yeah? If you don't have Lyca, you can try Fire Ryu with this build too. It's really fun, trust me. Really, really fun. A lot of people wonder why I don't have max resist on Lyca. More often than not, I put him into a spot against Lyca, Ragdoll, Vert. There's not a lot of debuff, and I don't really need resistance for that. And usually, 15% resist can handle some of the bomb too, which is rather lucky for me. But hey, I'll take those good RNG any day. A lot of units can be built with 0 speed, like Perna, like Brandia, like Fire Panda, like Belenus. A lot of things can be built with 0 speed, just for people who use Leo a lot. Especially those that pick Leo in the 3rd slot and not the last pick. You gotta punish them, man. You gotta bring in all the toys and destroy them. Vert is on triple revenge because I have Jogun. If I don't have Jogun, I'll probably put it on Will because that will allow me to have an option to not ban Jogun. But because I usually pick this unit, I can afford to go with triple revenge Vert to make my Vert revenge a little bit more. So this is mostly for Chiwu Changpeng user, which is not a lot actually. Not a lot of them exist anymore. Kaki and Fuki are rune up. This is speed HP, this is speed attack. And they are mostly picked against the Ragdoll player together with Molong depending on the elements of the enemy team. If they don't have any water, then you bring in Kaki. If they have a lot of water, then you bring in Fuki, depending on the situation. Leo is there to draft against Tableau user as well as Cleaver, usually get banned out anyway, so doesn't get to see much action. Attack with damage attack, and he's good to go. Just efficient stat on your Leo. Yeah, trying to get high resist accuracy and max crit rate too. Diana is actually on a speed HP build just because this rune is quite good and has a lot of crit rate and crit damage. I'm seeing more speedy speed crit HP Diana, focus more on additional damage artifact and just trying to be fast and annoying. But there are many builds for Diana, crit damage, crit rate, HP build, all that good jazz. Build a Diana that you find yourself comfortable with. But just saying, the meta is shifting more to speedy Diana and have high crit rate and focus more on speed. My LD Nat 5 Molly that I don't use much at all. I thought I would be using her a lot, but I tried being a turn 2 player and it's not fun. You just have to sit there, take a beating, and hope that you violent prop, which is kind of yikes to play. I'd rather use my shitty Swift rune and try to go turn 1 if I can. So one of the biggest things that I did in this season was to drop Oki and Savannah middle of the season and stop using them completely. So that free up some rune for my other unit. I don't have to worry about Oki Savannah anymore. I stopped using this unit because she get countered so hard by either Leo, Vert, Molly, Juno, or any of that combination, and Ragdoll too. So it's really hard to use her and feel satisfied about it. So I just stick with Changpeng and just forget that I have a Savannah. Okeanos is just a piece of disappointment most of the time, not stunning the one that you need to, missing Lulu, missing strip reset. So I drop Oki as well and use Cardinal every single game. One of the things I've been trying out is the Tech Chiwu or the Nem Trap Chiwu, which is quite cool too, but I need to have lower defense and HP a little bit, and I need to make that faster. So one of the best runes to have right now is the blue Nemesis rune that have 18 speed, so that you have as little stat as possible. So the max rune, the high HP value here, you know, the high HP value here, they are not good. And these kind of units are the one that will destroy the Jogun water wheel user, take them by surprise, gain attack bar in between, and flip the table. Even though we rage about how strong this unit can be, the strip pushback is not as consistent as a Triton or Chiwu strip. So more often than not, he either get the strip or the pushback. So it's not that easy for him to destroy a Nem wheel unit. And this guy doesn't influence attack bar. So people who use this unit will have to tune the unit very heavily tight, and that's not easy at all. So if you have a Nemesis unit that is so swishy that even this skill can trigger the Nemesis unit to move in front of enemy team, like a Tiana for example, then you gain the advantage over the enemy team immediately. So those are the kind of technology that people develop nowadays, besides owning a Heigang to fight back the meta slave, like me. So for example, this is the fight that they take Water Ryu first, and I will draft my speed lead and also Heigang. So this will allow me to fight the Jogun that might come after, and now I follow up with more control unit and the last pick Juno to be the false ban for the Rika and the blue Joker pick. He picked this because I don't have immunity, which makes sense. So my draft like this, he can strip me, I will cut in between and start working on him instead. But because he didn't have any speed lead, I ban the Water Ryu, I go first, get counter to control, and I start winning. If I see a draft like this, I will start out with Jogun and Gani because Jogun is a more impactful stripper than Water Ryu. So here I will have my Carno and Poseidon for the control, and last pick because there's no fire unit, I go with Changpeng. And here I have 2 AoE stripper, 3 CC, and usually I do okay by banning a Leo, so I have the speed advantage over the enemy. But this match I lost because Changpeng is a shitty stripper, and can't do anything about that. I could have picked a Water Ryu and control better, which is what I did in the next patch, and I win this one instead because I strip everything. This one, I strip nothing with Changpeng, unfortunately. So as you can see, I draft very boringly. One of the things I learned is you have to be very methodical. Is that a word? About your draft, and you need to draft pretty much the same thing. And you need to plan out exactly what's going to happen, because it's quite obvious that people in the higher rank, they will draft a certain way, they will draft a certain unit, and when you know how to deal with it, you start winning a little bit more than usual. So I know people who pick Molong will have LD unit, they will draft Lulu, they will draft Diana and Juno. So I just double down on Carno and Poseidon pretty much every game that allow me to control them very, very well. Usually I ban the Ragdoll, and after that is just controlling and controlling. Did I win this one? Oh, I missed strip? Oh, I missed strip? Oh yeah. Usually it's a W, but because I missed strip, it is not. Wait, am I winning? I think I might still have a chance. But as you can see right there, max resist Lulu is absolutely insane. I don't even know if it's max resist, but a Lulu resistant can usually mean death. Oh my god, I'm actually losing. But because Carno is a much better bruiser than Okeanos with the attack by pushback as well as his self-healing, he has a much better chance to fight compared to Okeanos in this kind of situation. So when the first turn fail, usually Okeanos can just like go bye-bye. But Carno's kind of strong in that regards. So a lot of attack by pushback for a unit like Juno to help the team keeping the balance between two teams. So that Juno is not even moving at all, and I'm constantly moving. Also, you know, meta unit kind of strong. I'm not even sure if I win this one actually. Wait. Oh no, I think I lost. Did I lose? Yeah, I lost. Never mind. With how much I rely on these two units and this unit as well, I think there might be some changes to them potentially. We're probably gonna see a nerf to Jogun, probably take away the speed buff. I think that is just absolutely insane. And hopefully we see some buff to some of the older Nat 5 to see them getting the action back in RTA. That'll be really, really amazing. But for the next season, I'll probably be de-runing most of the stuff here and just go back to, doing some dumb stuff for the early part of the season to make fun content for you guys and not be a meta slave 24/7. But that's all the stat of the unit I used in RTA in the last season to climb in the later part of the season. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you learned something, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!